Rise of the Ronin is the latest game developed by Team Ninja, the same developer behind other titles such as Neo, Dead or Alive 6, and Wolong Fallen Dynasty. This game marks Team Ninja's most ambitious project to date, as they venture into the open world genre. Are you ready for this? Gamer Braves! Hello adventurers! Today we will be reviewing Rise of the Ronin. The game sets in Bakumatsu, the end of the Edo period, which was in the late 80s. Players get to experience and explore three major cities of the era: Yokohama, Kyoto, and Edo, known as Tokyo today. In this era, there was the Boshin War, a civil war which involved the conflict between Tokugawa shogunate and anti-Tokugawa shogunate. Players will be playing as one of the Blade twins of Veiled Edge. When they were young, their village got burned down and were raised by the Kurosu clan, with the main mission to oppose the shogunate. They got recruited into Veiled Edge and trained to be Blade twins, embark on a grand adventure in search of the mysterious figure across Yokohama. Players will get to meet historical figures like Ryomu Sakamoto and Matthew Perry on their journey. Key moments in the story offer choices, including deciding whether to kill or spare an assassination target. There are three factions: Tokugawa shogunate, anti-shogunate, and Western forces. These decisions will shape the story, as players will be given the freedom to pick a side or support either faction. Choices made will affect the storyline and characters. What makes Rise of the Ronin stand out from all of Team Ninja's previous games is because it is designed as an open world. Set in previously mentioned major cities of the era, the game immerses players in a dynamic and historically rich environment. Players could immediately sense the strong Western influence, architectural design and buildings, diverse populations, and firearms patrolling the city. Players can do a variety of activities in this world. Exploration is made easier by having a horse as your main transportation, as well as a gadget called the glider that was very helpful in many of our playthroughs. As a Ronin, of course you have parkour maneuvers, including the use of a grappling rope. It enhances character mobility, allowing players to navigate challenging terrain with ease. Additionally, the game's progression occasionally leads players on missions with a more linear or closed structure. Like previous Team Ninja games, players cannot leave the particular area unless the objective or mission is completed. For the variety of activities that you can do in the game is quite diverse, one of which is public order, which requires you to clean up an area from troublemakers or bandits. The areas we've captured will be repopulated by locals, who also provide access to supply item sellers and facilitate crafting items. Depending on your activities, you'll earn karma that can be redeemed for rare skill points when you interact with the Veiled Edge banner, a bonfire-style checkpoint in the game. The rest of the time, you can search for lost cats, take photos of the best views, access important facilities like horse and gear shops, and complete fun minigame challenges that vary from region to region. For example, you can do the gliding challenge in the Kariba region, which happens to have a high hill spot that's perfect for the activity as you glide through the mountains with the wind. Despite its standard open world design, each area of the game can be completed quite quickly with a 100% collection rate. This isn't to say that the game lacks content, but rather that Ronin provided each region with a focused portion of content that rewards players accordingly. This approach is better than seeing hundreds of icons that are so busy and dizzying, especially with minimal rewards that might bore players to get more involved in the open world activities in the game. One of the main facilities that is also worth discussing is the Longhouse, which can also be said as the character's home base. Here, players can engage in various activities, from housekeeping or organizing storage to managing a cat rental business. Players can even say hello to bonded characters, as they'll sometimes stop by to rest at the Longhouse. This is also where players can change the character's weapons and clothing according to their own preference. There is a unique relationship system in the game, which allows players to bond with characters in-game. If players are unsure about which faction to focus on, the game will provide the opportunity to bond with each important character through the bond system. This includes going on special missions with them and learning more about their backgrounds. The story will branch out depending on who the players allied with. Depending on the player's progress, players will also have the ability to form romantic relationships by increasing the favor levels of these characters. This can be achieved by giving them their favorite gifts or selecting the right dialogue options. Meanwhile, there's also a crime system. If you murder too many NPCs or innocent people, you will get attacked by local people or guards. It is encouraged to not John Wick anyone on sight. It is a stealth game after all. Speaking of attacking, combat system has become a real specialty of Team Ninja itself. Players can freely change the difficulty level without any restrictions. This part still has a strong similarities with some of their recent Souls-like games, especially from the Neo series. Players are presented with 2 main weapon options and 2 sub-options in the form of ranged weapons, as well as slots for consumable items. The game controls exhibit responsiveness and sensations that are still very distinctive. This time, characters are equipped with more mobility, such as being able to combine combos with jump attacks and using a grappling rope to reach enemies from a distance or throw objects at them. Blade Flash is a maneuver players can perform after executing an attack. This involves flinging the weapon to the ground to remove blood. Depending on how much blood has accumulated, indicated by the bar below that weapon icon, players can restore ki, or also known as stamina, to continue the onslaught of attacks. Blade Flash hardly requires any sort of timing to execute, so players can master the technique quickly. Players can also launch Counter Spark, which is an attack parry maneuver, and this one is not easy to master. Well, for us anyway. This is because each enemy type and boss has a different attack pattern, and sometimes players need to be able to parry perfectly in a row before they get a chance to counter-attack. You also don't have to worry about strengthening your character's abilities with a more specific upgrade process, as their main stats are now only divided into 4 main categories: strength, dexterity, charm, and intellect, all of which are combined with a skill tree to simplify the whole process. Each of these stats can significantly impact the gameplay experience by shaping how players approach challenges, interact with the game world, and develop their characters depending on the player's preferred playstyle. Overall, the game still manages to offer a solid open world experience that is so addictive, exciting, and full of surprises. On top of that, utilizing their specialization in crafting high difficulty action games, based on what we've seen, Team Ninja offered through Rise of the Ronin can indeed be considered a major evolution that is quite on target. The game's focus on providing branching storylines that are full of consequences and rich in replayability is also a selling point, especially to provide more motivation if players want to play the game again after finishing. Even the combat portion, which feels more streamlined, is still packed with top-notch quality expected from Team Ninja standards. Unfortunately, they had a great idea of having 2 main characters that can coexist in the same story, but the gender option doesn't seem to have any significance other than cosmetics. But I'm willing to overlook this and give this game a 9 out of 10, because it gives you the option to pet your cats. The game is coming out March 22nd, 2024. Are you ready to witness the rise of the Ronin?
Thank you so much for watching our videos. Don't forget to give us a subscribe if you'd like to see more, and like so we know what kind of content you want to see. Got suggestions for new content? Let us know in the comments below too. Thank you so much again for watching. Take care, dudes.